Hi guys, and welcome to Happily Ever Eaten. Today is day number 2. Well, not day number 2, but week number 2. And we're not even in July yet. We're getting there. Listen, I'm all for it. I'm amped. I would be totally fine if Christmas was every day of the year and like openly celebrated, but it's not. And so I hope that you enjoy Christmas and that you also enjoy celebrating it. Because I need friends that also love Christmas very much. So anyway, today I was originally gonna be making dried cranberry almond biscottis. However, our internet is not working today, so I can't even access the recipe that I found off Pinterest. So instead, I am gonna be making my chocolate chip cookie recipe, except I'm not gonna be using chocolate chips. I'm gonna be using M&Ms, but Walmart didn't have regular M&Ms, so I had to get the mixed bag. So I went through the mixed bag and I got like maybe 3/4 a cup of red and green of the M&Ms salvaged out of there. So it's not gonna be a lot of M&Ms, but that's okay. It's not a live or die situation. But this is my recipe. I love this recipe. I think I love it. Every year I make them, and every year they're enjoyed by everybody. So anyway, we are gonna get on that with making those. And then I think that's really the only Christmas activity we're gonna have today is making Christmas themed cookies. I'm not sure because my other plan was foiled with the biscotti. So we'll see. But anyway, come with me to make some chocolate chip cookies. M&M cookies. So this is my recipe card. I've had this for, golly, 6 years maybe. So anyway, this is the recipe card. Okay, so we have our ingredients. We have our 1 large room temperature egg. This is regular store bought. I normally buy the farm fresh, so the yolk would be a little bit more orangey, but this will do. 1/4 cup regular sugar, and then what is this? I think it's 3/4 cup. Yeah, 3/4 cup brown sugar, and I make the brown sugar in-house using grandma's molasses, if we can focus. Yeah, grandma's molasses. I started doing that last year just because I don't use, well, I mean, I use brown sugar more than what I used to, but now I can't really justify the added cost on the grocery bill. So we make it in-house because still it's used sporadically. It's not an everyday thing. These are the M&Ms I was able to salvage from that huge bag. Those were all the red and green. We have our homemade vanilla extract. We have our room temperature butter. And then here we have 2 cups all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons cornstarch, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon salt, and I do also throw in 1/2 teaspoon of instant coffee. That is total, like, personal preference. That is absolutely in no way, shape, or form necessary for this recipe, because most of the time that I make these chocolate chip cookies, I don't have the instant coffee in the mix, but every once in a while I like to throw it up just to kind of, you know, razzle dazzle up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Once in a while too, I brown the butter instead of just throwing it in whole. It just adds like an extra depth and richness to everything. So anyway, here's our ingredients. Let's get to rocking and rolling. Okay, here's where we're at with the wet ingredients. So that's gonna be both of your sugars, your butter. Don't mix your egg in at this point. You wanna make sure that it's at this texture, before you actually add in your egg. And then after that, we'll do dry ingredients. So here is, if we can focus. Come on, you can do it. Okay, here we are. So this is the texture that you're looking for with the wet ingredients. Still kind of grainy, but smooth, and we'll do it for a little bit longer just to get it a little bit more fluffy than where it's currently at, and then we'll add in our egg. And here's our 2nd teaspoon of the homemade vanilla extract. So we already have 1 in there. So there's number 2. And I'm gonna be 100 with you guys. Things taste so much better with the homemade vanilla extract. I cannot express or explain why, but it always ups the game for everything I bake that I use homemade vanilla extract. So that's the texture we're going to get it to, and then we'll add in our dry ingredients, but here's the wet ingredients. This has been the most convenient trick in my entire life right here. It's not even a trick, it's just like pre-measuring everything out and being able to just dump it in all at one time, instead of trying to figure out where you stuck your baking soda, where you put all your teaspoons. You just, everything goes in the same container, and then you just put it in all at one time. I love this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it all in, but I will say if you're using a stand mixer, you're gonna wanna put a towel over this. This is our dry ingredients mixed in with our wet ingredients. But we're gonna stop right there, and then we're gonna throw in our M&Ms. There we are. Okay, so now we are gonna pack it up into, I think we're gonna do, maybe we'll do cellophane. We'll do that. We'll turn it into a log. This way when I pull it out of the refrigerator, I can just slice it up instead of doing the little teaspoons. We'll try that. Don't forget, friends, always wash your hands. When me and the boys go through anything with baking or cooking, the first thing I ask is, what's the first rule? We wash our hands. Now, this is super de-duper, very, very important, friends. This recipe, you absolutely have to refrigerate it. I mean, do you? Is it life or death? Absolutely not. But I'm going to very strongly encourage you to refrigerate this recipe, okay? There is something about refrigerating dough that changes the texture, and I'm telling you, it is very much so worth the wait. So keep that in mind with this recipe. I strongly advise, if you can refrigerate it overnight, but at bare minimum, refrigerate it for at least 2 hours. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Okay, so today we're doing some big things. I am in the middle of baking a orange almond biscotti. This is gonna be, okay, so in the last video, I made I made my chocolate chip cookie dough with green and red M&Ms, okay? It was such a hit that I forgot to film the end of it, okay? Notice how that's like possibly a trend with my videos. Working on it. I am gonna work on that. But anyways, they were super duper good. So I'll make those again at a different point and like show you the whole thing. However, I made a biscotti, Christmas themed, in my opinion. So we did orange and almond and cranberry. And so right now it's baking, but I will show you the process right now. Like this is about the consistency that you're going for. I've never made biscottis before, so I genuinely have no idea. Okay, so I'm thinking about also doing a video on homemade Christmas gifts, and if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna have to start soon. So I'm thinking, we don't do a whole lot of Christmas gifts like outside of the immediate family, but when I do, I like to do homemade stuff, things that are useful for other people, or delicious, one of the two. So two of the things that I think I'm gonna make this year as gifts are going to be variety biscottis and then homemade vanilla extract. I think that'll be good. So this is my homemade vanilla extract. I think I let it cure for 7 months before we started using it. I made 3, I gave the other 2 away. I almost wish that I hadn't because it's so good. Like, this elevates the baking game 110%. There is no question about it. So I'm definitely gonna have to make more, and if I make them now, they'll be good to go by Christmas time. So I think that'll be the next video that I do. What do you think? Let me know. Here's your biscotti.
Thank you. Mmm.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, that's really good. Mmm. Yeah, that's so good.
Here's the final product. Very yummy. The website that I got the recipe from for this will be linked down below with the little additions that I did as well. And that's that. Got our biscotti and cup of coffee, and we're calling it a day. So Merry Christmas in July.